Hi, what's up guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I am giving you my opinion on some of the changes this wipe, and we're going to have a general discussion about the wipe, and I'm also going to talk to you guys about what I'm planning for this season, if you will, like the stretch of this wipe. First of all, the stretch of this wipe will be kind of the same as last wipe, but it's also going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be focusing more on like evolving my content and learning new things to make my content even better for you guys. But a couple of things that are going to be very much the same are we are still going to have gun builds. We are still going to have a raid series, which will probably I'll probably start recording that next weekend. But the raid series is definitely something I know some of you guys really love, and I really like making those type of videos, and it helps me every time when I make one. I learn new things and I learn new ways of going into situations, going into fights, so that's always very good for me to do. As you can see by my character screen, this is not what we're used to from me. I think in the last raid series up until like level 20 I had at least 50% survival rate, but more like 60 normally when I start playing. Even if other people have been in the wipe for a long time, I can push anywhere to 60 to 70% without too much trouble. It's been rough. This wipe is very rough, and I was thinking about why. The thing that contributes to me dying as much most is probably bad luck. I've been pretty unlucky, but also as you can see, I'm level 13. I didn't have as much time to play the wipe as I wanted to the last couple of days, mostly because of the Tarkov Encyclopedia. But one thing that's really rough is that everyone has like a head start. They will use BT rounds at this point. You don't see any 7N39 yet, or BS, or at least I haven't been killed with that type of ammo. But I've been running around with the Packer armor because I'm level 13, and I do have enough spent with the traders to, like, as you can see, Ragman, I will have level 2 Ragman soon, but I'm not level 15 yet. Same goes with Scare, not level 15 yet. I would be able to get this because I could just spend my money. Prepor, same thing, 1 million spent. Therapist, even 2.5 million spent. But the problem is I'm running around with Packer armors, and unfortunately, for some reason, yesterday I had like 4 or 5 raids in a row where I just get killed with 1 BT round to the thorax, which fragments. It's rough, it happens, but the pace was definitely starting to pick back up, and dying or living is not everything in Tarkov. I can show you guys a little bit in my stash. By the way, one thing, has anyone else noticed that the menu is much more laggy now than it was before the wipe, or is it just me? As you can see, we do have loads of items for tasks already in here. We already have loads of shotguns, we have some armors, we have some stuff, we have some weapons here, we have some keys. So all in all, it's not going very badly at all. I feel like if I push it for a couple more hours, I could be level 20 to 25 relatively soon. But that's just my experience with the wipe so far. It's really sweaty. People are playing really sweaty. And I think you guys have noticed that as well. Loads of campers, bush campers, extract campers, and all that is to be expected after a wipe. Especially if you don't have the kind of time to just instantly rush from the start of the wipe in order to get off customs. Because I feel like customs is definitely a sweat fest at this point. Loads of squads as well. That's definitely one thing that helps people killing me. That I'm playing solo mostly, and they are playing in squads, and every time when I play in squads it doesn't work out for us at all. I noticed that with almost 1,000 hours solo and almost none in squads, if you then start playing in squads, that's not necessarily a plus. That doesn't necessarily mean you make it out of more raids alive, especially if everyone's just running a pistol for some reason. Don't ask, okay? But all this is to be expected after a wipe. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit sweaty, and there's going to be loads of frustration if you die too much and yada yada yada. But the thing I really want to talk to you guys about, and I really want to know your opinion about, so make sure to drop that in the comment section down below so I can see how you guys actually think of this, is the new found in raid. because I'm having trouble understanding what the benefit is of this system like it is now. So for those of you who don't know, now that after this wipe, the way it works is everything that you put in your gamma container is not found in raid if you die in the raid. So even the stuff in your gamma container has to be extracted in order to be found in raid and in order to be sold on the flea market. Now, I do understand that that's something they do in order to like make it harder for people to do pistol runs. And I respect that, and I think there's things to be said for that, and that's probably a good thing. But the only problem I have with it is that if I look at pistol running, the map that gets pistol ran the most is probably Reserve, right? And the items they are going for is graphics cards. Okay, so let's just start with graphics cards. Graphics cards is one of the items that are very much sought after in Reserve if people do pistol runs. The problem is those cannot be sold on the flea market then. That's true. But what it also means is they can still be sold to a trader. And granted, graphics cards are not worth that much when you sell them to a trader. But that's about it. Because all the other items you find more often, like the MCBs, like all the signal transmitters, the Vertex, the SSDs, the whatever, they're all sold for exactly the same price to Therapist. To nerf that, yes, this is good because then people can't frustrate the economy. But from a pure, like, player standpoint, this is actually quite annoying. Because if you find, like, an expensive key, but then you get killed by a 5-man squad, you can see how you can't sell that on the flea market then, and that is more rage-inducing than dying like that. And where normally, if I were to find like a paracord, like I have this wipe, and I put that in my gamma, that would more often than not be a point of me saying, okay, now I'm just going to go straight for PvP, because even if I die, I have the paracord. So at least what I've noticed is, for me, it makes me a little bit more passive in my playing, and I don't know if I like that or not. I do understand that there's loads of problems with people making money for these sites that sell rubles online, but isn't it the case that they just hack in labs and they won't die anyway? I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is the pure benefit? Because I don't think we're still at the point where Chinese money farmers are just pistol running Reserve. I think the Chinese money farmers make hacks and then farm labs and kill everyone in the lobby. And even if they do pistol runs, do you really think that they won't use hacks in order to make it out of that raid alive? I don't know the numbers, and I think that's why it's difficult for me to understand, but I'm just trying to think, like, do they just want to make the game harder in general, like more unforgiving? But if that's the case, then why not just delete the gamma container in general? Because at this point, the gamma container is just a little bit extra storage for stuff that is beneficial for you as a player itself. So, okay, yeah, I guess that's good. Like, if you find some stuff you can actually use, you put it in your gamma, and then even if you die, that's safe, and that is being protected. So yes, that's true. It's just a big difference from the way it used to be. Maybe I'm just really salty, but I like the way it was. I'm not sure if I like this, because I think it is a step in the right direction, but it doesn't solve the biggest problem that I have with Tarkov. I guess why I'm actually a little bit like, is because I did not necessarily have a problem with pistol runners in general, and now because some people do, I understand that. And if Nikita wants to change that, sure. Like, I'm not the guy who makes the game, so I don't care if they change anything that I like, because it's their game. They have a philosophy for it, so let them make it. We love the game anyway. They have made it from their passion, and so if they want to change something, I think they have the right. But I'm just thinking, what is the point of doing this? Because I don't really see it. I don't really see how this changes anything when it comes to, like, the money selling online. I don't really see how this really stops pistol runners, because as I said, all the items on Reserve, your vendor to Therapist, you would always sell to Therapist for the same price as you would sell them on the flea market anyway, so that's not really beneficial, except for the graphics cards. So I guess now that that's the case, it's even harder to buy graphics cards on the flea market anyway, because there's less graphics cards being sold. Like, and that's one thing. I understand that there's more than one map. That's true. But I'm just saying, please let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this change. Do you think it's beneficial for the game? What do you think is the biggest point to this? Am I missing something? Because I feel like I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted to. I'm at 43 raids, most of which on customs, and so maybe I'm just really missing something on other maps that has changed because of this feature. But at this point, I just feel like it's a little bit of a nuisance. It's just like, found a good key, but now I died. Now I have to vendor it to therapists instead of selling it to the flea market. Another thing that I know people are very frustrated about is you can't try your keys anymore. Because let's say I have this wing room 205 key. If I take it into a raid with me in my gamma container, then it loses its found in raid status. And so you are not able to try a key. Either you have one and you sell it instantly if you survive a raid, or you are pretty much stuck with it, with the only solution being selling it to the therapist. And that's not necessarily something I like. On the other hand, just Google whatever is in the room of the key you just found, and then you don't really have to try it yourself. But I do understand that for people that want to figure this stuff out themselves, that can be a little bit annoying. Other than that, with the found in raid changes, I don't think I have much of a problem with it. I'm just saying, don't think it really changes anything when it comes to like the money selling online, or don't think it stops the pistol runners. And in my opinion, I thought at least that was the thing they were trying to do with it. But if you look at items that are being sold, like you can already see, you can already buy the MP7A2 for 35k. It's not I thought that it would change more than it actually has, and maybe that's just because I underestimated how no life people would play. Look at this, the AKs, they're all already at the same price point as they were before, so it doesn't seem like there is anything being changed when it comes to that. I don't see any of these weapons that have a much higher price than they used to before the wipe. Not even the RPK, none of the bolt action rifles. I've gone through this, like as you can see, only 45k for a Remington. That's about what you would pay for it pre-wipe too. Ammo is more expensive. I'll say that. Ammo is definitely much more expensive on the flea market, so that does give an incentive to level up your traders. Armor is also a little bit more expensive, but honestly, not that much more expensive. Like as you can see, for like a little over 100k, you can buy a pretty good Gen 4. You repair it for like 80k, and for 200k you have a fully restored Gen 4. 200k. I really thought this would be much more of a problem. I thought these changes to the found in raid system, not being able to sell any of the items you buy for the from the flea market, would have more of a impact, but it didn't. What I really want to know of you guys as well is how are you experiencing this wipe? Do you think these things are good changes? Do you like the way it feels? And one more thing I also want to ask, have you guys noticed with, for instance, a Mosin, if you aim like you used to and just place your crosshair where you think you're going to hit someone and you don't hit, or the bullet doesn't register? Because I've been really struggling with the Mosin, where I have like 3 or 4 shots, even on scavs that are standing still, where I'm like, definitely hit him there, and then I didn't. So that's something I want to know if I'm the only one that is experiencing that. Other than that, I am having loads of fun, even though I'm getting a little bit frustrated sometimes. Some things like that, like the bullets feeling like they don't register, are kind of rage-inducing. Also, I've had a couple of instances where I just hold down the left mouse button with a gun that's on full auto, and after 2 bullets, it just stops shooting. I don't know why. Maybe they have put in that gun jamming mechanic they were talking about earlier, but I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about that. So if you guys want to let me know how that feels to you, then I would be very appreciative. Other than that, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to see more of this wipe, and that we haven't had a chance to see on the channel last wipe, and I'll make sure to keep it in mind and see if I can work towards it. Also, the Tarkov Encyclopedia is live, of course, and it seems like you guys are really enjoying that one. It's doing great, which I didn't expect. I expected like 40 people to watch it once and be like, okay, thanks, Eddie. And then it wouldn't be found by other people outside of our little like community. But it seems like it has been, and maybe that's because you guys have been sharing it on social media. I don't know. If that is the case, thank you very much. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Eddie, out.